Good morning, everyone. It is bright and beautiful here at the anchorage, and we are anchored right underneath the northwest tip of Iceland, and this general area is for the most part uninhabited except for a couple farmhouses here and there that people use in the summer. But it is really pretty here, and what makes this anchorage extra special is that it's surrounded by this massive sand dune. So today we're going to hop in a dinghy and we're going to head over there and play in the sand. For the most part, so far, this place reminds me a lot of Svalbard with all the rugged mountains and the scarred cliffs, only here's a little bit greener and we don't have to worry about polar bears, so we can hike everywhere without carrying a rifle and we'll be fine. I think the only wild animals here are reindeer, right? I don't think there are anything else. I think reindeer and maybe sheep and
ponies.
Ponies. There's Arctic. Ponies. There's giant Icelandic ponies.
They're not giant.
they feel giant to me because I'm not very big. So yeah, we're about to put the dinghy down in the water and go for a little bit of exploration.
Got it. How far do you think we're gonna have to pull the dinghy before the tide's not gonna change? It looks like this whole piece of sand gets covered at high tide. There's a 2-meter tide here, which is the first time that we've been in a 2-meter tide in a long time. But I'll check to see if it's going in or out. And we're not going far, we're just playing around the sand, so I think we'll be all right.
I can just help you out.
You want to restuff your super puff? It's down.
It's like baby feathers.
Yeah. Some sort of down. Very fluffy.
Yeah, I had a hole in my puffer jacket. Maybe right? I can use the
just like collect some and like restuff it.
We are trying to climb to the very top of the sand hill, but it's not easy. Walking on sand is already hard. Walking on sand uphill is very, very difficult. It's just so heavy. You know what? If I fall, I'll just slide on sand, so it's not bad.
She brought our crampons.
Who knew that the camera chopper would have been like a climbing
like a sand axe.
Stick. Yeah, a sand axe.
How's it going?
Ugh. Man, this is exhausting.
I feel like we're gonna take the long way around on the way back.
I think that's a great idea. I bet on the camera it looks flat, and then in real life we're just like, ah!
It looks pretty steep.
It looks pretty steep.
It's a long way down. You're climbing like straight up a sand mountain.
I'm not going anywhere.
I know. Well, you go somewhere. Just slowly. Little spider monkey.
That's how I feel. A little spider monkey. Ugh.
Yeah. I've never tried to climb straight up the side of a sand dune before. It is very much like a 2-step forward, 1-step back kind of thing. Sometimes you just have to like muscle through it.
Well, I think we made it to the top.
Ish.
Not really. We made it about halfway.
We made it to the first resting point.
Yeah, and we're not going further up.
It's exhausting.
But it is such a beautiful view. You can see Uma way in the back and then Coco slightly more towards us and then us up on the hill.
It's beautiful.
But it's kind of crazy to think how this sand dune appeared because it certainly didn't come from the mountains. The mountains are all rocks and spit.
Imported from the Sahara.
Right.
Brought it on dump trucks a million years ago.
No, so there's a similar island in Norway that has a similar system, and somebody was telling us that the wind actually brings the sand out of the ocean and up on the hill, and over time it just creates a mountain of sand. And I'm assuming it's the same system here, same theory applies. But
yeah, I think so. The whole valley is like full of sand, and the whole ocean floor. This fjord that we sailed in last night is really, really shallow. Like all the way out around the corner is only 30 meters. And so it's all just like this sloping, smooth sand bottom.
Yeah.
And then the beach comes in and the river kind of keeps it exposed. And then when the wind picks up, it just takes the sand and blows it straight up the side of a mountain. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nuts, but I think that...
Can we switch?
You want me to hold it?
Can you hold the camera? I could...
It's so heavy.
It gets heavy. But it makes sense because it makes it for the best Anchorage because it's literally all sand. Yeah. Which is great.
You drop the anchor and it just stops.
We're just hanging out here on top of the sand.
There's enough of a breeze that keeps the little bugs away, watching the birds fly by and the waves come in. And the tide's still sort of on its way out, so Coco is still high and dry.
She's hanging out with the seagulls down there.
She's chilling with her friends.
Yeah, and as soon as the tide starts coming in, we'll be able to see her and we'll make sure we get into the dinghy before she disappears.
Exactly.
I was like, I had a thought, but then
But then it's gone.
I thought that my thought wasn't a thought that I wanted to share.
Cool.
So Dan really wants me to slide down the sand dune, and he's going to take a drone shot of me while I do it. So, I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? It's just sand. It was actually kind of fun. It's like I'm surfing. Came from all the way back there and then slid all the way down. All right, now I guess it's Dan's turn. High five.
That was fun.
How was the trip? How was the trip down?
Way easier than the trip up. Awesome.
Alright, let's do this.
Twist it towards me. Three, two, one. No, pull. Don't let it get twisted.
No, my
All right, get ready to jump then. Jump. Get ready to row. 3, 2, 1. Row, baby.
I can't
Slow
row.
and smooth. Don't freak out. You're going the wrong way.
I'm trying. Maybe we did the opposite. Maybe
Switch.
Yeah.
Pull it back. There you go. All right, start it. I hate rowing ribs. Like they're so useless. Good times. Come on. Bye.
Cool. Back on the main ship.
So where are we going today?
We are sailing 20 miles around the corner to like a proper town. I think it's called East Fjord, which is funny because we were just sailing in an East Fjord in Svalbard, but this one's in Iceland. And we're gonna pull into the dock and get some online work done and get some trash and water and groceries and laundry and all the things you need to do in a dock because it's been about a month. And then on to bigger and better things. But there's a little bit of wind, so we're gonna sail off anchor. It's a beautiful sunny day. Should be a nice sail around the corner. All right, head sail's coming out. Beautiful. When was the last time we sailed off anchor?
We used to do that a lot in the Caribbean, remember?
I know. It's because it's only fun when it's like sunny and nice. When it's like shitty and crappy and we're reefed and it's 20 knots, it's like
So
less fun. Well, we've been sort of close reaching out of the bay this whole time, hoping the wind was going to kind of suck us and head us a little bit and round us up around this tip, but we're going to be like scraping the paint, I think, if we don't tack. So we're in 16 meters of water. It's fucking beautiful, but we need to tack, like now.
Icelandic Coast Guard, this is sailing vessel Uma on 25.
Good. We had a call from the Norwegian Coast Guard because some of your relatives have some concerns about you. Is everything okay with you?
Everything is good. It's probably because we haven't posted an update online for the past 2 weeks.
Exactly. But until then, everything is okay and you're liking what you see here?
Everything is great. We are just sailing along the northwest coast into Isefjorden.
Okay, copy that. You're going into Isefjorden. I will let the Norwegian Coast Guard know that.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Back to 16.
So because we haven't posted a video in 2 weeks, some people contacted the Norwegian Coast Guard because they were worried. The Norwegian Coast Guard contacted the Icelandic Coast Guard. We just got a hail from the Icelandic Coast Guard letting us know that the Norwegian Coast Guard contacted them because our relatives were worried about us. I'm pretty sure it's not our relatives. Our patrons know exactly where we are at all times. Our families know where we are at all times. So if somebody contacted the Coast Guard because they were worried, it's neither of them. If you don't hear from us for a few weeks, it's probably because 1, we're taking time off, or 2, because we don't have any internet signal. So that doesn't mean that we're lost at sea. And if we were, trust me, the Coast Guard related to our emergency would know before you guys would know. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating, honestly, because we're not going to announce every time we skip a video that we're skipping a video. We're just going to skip a video.
At least they're nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're good. All right, the spinnaker's out and we are sailing a direct line towards Isefjorden. And we are sailing against a bit of a current right now, but hopefully by the time that we round up this mountain, the current will be a little bit less and we'll be able to actually make a little bit more speed, because right now we're sailing slow. The wind is just enough to keep our sails filled up, and the current is just enough to keep us almost hovering. So we're sailing at like 2 knots, but it feels like we're sailing faster. But hopefully the current will die down soon. It's beautiful though.
Well, it's our first time for everything, I suppose. I don't think we've ever flown our spinnaker with the pole out before, because it's an asymmetric spinnaker, so it doesn't require a spinnaker pole normally. But the wind is so light and the sea state is so calm that there's not enough wind to keep the spinnaker full all the time, and it kind of like luffs and fluffs. So we put the whisker pole out. So we're flying it with a pseudo whisker pole, and now rather than doing 1 knot, we're sailing at 2 knots, so we'll take it. Give me some love, you little love monkey.
Are these boats anchored?
They're on mooring balls, I think, or maybe anchored. You can anchor anywhere in here as long as you're not in the way of the cargo ships that come in here.
So, do you want a helm and I do lines?
I don't mind helming.
Okay, we can do that.
It's been a while since I've docked. Kick the tires off. Kika? Kick the fenders off.
Oh yeah, fender. You sure you don't want to do it before side?
No. Everything's set up to starboard.
Yep. 3, 2. Alright, full stop. Yeah, I'm taking the midship here.
Yeah. You can just loop and pass it back down to us.
We're here. We officially made it. Now we're going to be here for the next couple of days. We're going to do the regular things that people need to do in their daily life, like laundry and shower and probably go some groceries, yes. Interesting dock.
Although ironically there's no power and water here, so like we may as well get bunker.
Oh shit, there's no power and water? Well, that's fun. It's a very rough place for lack of a better term. We're tied up to the tire wall where the commercial boats usually tie up because there's not a lot of space in the main pleasure boat harbor, I guess.
There's like one floating dock and they're full of like local tour boats.
Yeah, there's one dock and most local tour boats use that dock. Dan is pumping up our
Time to put on the big boys.
the big fenders because that's what we do.
I'm glad that we kept these things. We got these at the Southampton Boat Show like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they offered if we could just want to keep them because they're old, and we're like, yeah, definitely, because we knew we were going to be coming up to places like this, and most of northern Iceland, the docks are just tire walls.
Yeah.
So instead of a big fender board that we have to carry, we just use these, and it's super convenient.
We've used them a lot, but the other funny thing is that there's no power here. There's technically power, but it's a mile away. And we do not have all the extension cords to get to it. There's also no water. And it's not the cleanest marina, so we wouldn't really make water here. But good thing for power, we have a solution.
Our mobile marina.
That's why we have a mobile marina. So we'll probably run the generator for a few hours tonight just to charge up everything.
68%, but yeah, we may as well.
Yeah. And we probably won't be staying here for very long. All we really need is Wi-Fi to upload a video and to catch up on some emails and things like that. Groceries and maybe a little laundry, and then we can continue off. Because if we have to run the generator, we might as well be at anchor, right?
Yeah, we've used these fenders so much
used
over
these
the
a
past
lot.
years.
I'm glad we kept them.
Me too.
Highly recommend it. I would actually recommend like 2 large inflatable fenders like that over a fender board, like any day of the week. I think they work better because they kind of roll up and down the dock as we go. We've also used them on floating docks, like in Ålesund when we were getting just hammered by some crazy fjord winds coming in there. We put those in between us and the dock so that we weren't slamming into the concrete dock there as well. Even though it's floating, like it still would have messed us up. It's just been nice to carry like this extra layer of protection everywhere we go. I think it's hilarious to run a generator at a dock, but you know what? That's why we got the thing, because up here in the north of Iceland and in Svalbard and Jan Mayen and places like that, a lot of the places you tie up do not have power sockets. And if you do, it's kind of lucky, and you're probably splitting it between you and like 6 fishing boats. So we knew we weren't going to be able to rely on marinas to top our batteries up, which is why we got our little mobile marina. I'm certainly happy that we did. We definitely didn't need it in the Caribbean. There's plenty of solar, and if we ever did need to top our batteries up, we could. Well, we couldn't back then. We didn't have a battery charger. But yeah, Caribbean, tropics, probably the Med. probably don't really need it. It's probably a bit of a luxury.
Even Norway, we didn't need it.
Norway, we didn't need it because there's marinas everywhere, like everywhere. There's more marinas than there were anchorages, and it was winter, so we didn't want to be out on anchor anyway. Yeah, we're definitely glad we got it for up here. I guess sort of the funny part is pretty much all of the expedition boats that we meet up here all have generators as well, either big diesel generators built in or little generators like this that they run in the cockpit. Even most of the people we've met with power boats that go out on anchor have little generators because they don't want their diesels running all night long while they need to run their fridge and lights and stuff, so they just leave one of these little Hondas like out on the swimming platform running all night. So it's kind of funny that it's not really because we have an electric motor. Pretty much everyone up here has one anyway.
Nice.
If you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, let's turn that on.
It's not quiet.
It's not quiet. There's a lot of misconceptions about these things. One is that they're quiet, and two is that they're super fuel efficient. Both of which are true if you're running it on idle, like to run your refrigerator maybe. But when you're actually pulling power out of it, like we're running 1.8 kilowatts, it's loud AF, and a tank only lasts about 4 hours, not 10. So that's one of the things we learned. Everyone says the tank lasts 10 hours, that's bullshit. Unless you're just running a very small load. It lasts 4 at full power, and it's loud. Down below it's not terrible, like it's survivable down below, but out here in the cockpit, it's awful.